Good morning. It is good morning here. It is 5 minutes to 11 o'clock in the morning here in Santa Monica by the beach, or the beach if you are French. Plenty of North Americans here, including in the studio today. We are still joined by Sean Grills, and we've got Dan here as well, who lives in America, but is still kind of English, mostly Indian, right? In tune of your Indian
22% is not mostly. I don't know where you learn mathematics, but
it depends what the other percents are. You would be mostly.
He's very smart, man.
Yeah. Do you want me to get the data right now?
No, not really.
Didn't think so.
Well, okay then. 400 days. 400 days. 400 days since we could draw on a map. It's a big fat 400. I don't know how I know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that?
I feel a little bit excited because it's such a nice number.
Yeah.
But also
this is not the response I'm looking for, Sean.
Yeah, I think once it gets like to 420, 4 like 04, 406, you know, like a
404 map not found.
Yeah, yeah. 404 map not found.
Jeez.
That's when the depression really starts to come back like full circle.
Okay, 400 days. You know the tweet's coming, so make sure you like it. The people need to let the developers know, man. 400 days. 400 days.
James, what else is weird?
Draw on the map. What's weird?
Sean and I stumbled upon an interesting realization just a moment ago.
Okay, and what's that?
We think that maybe first trolling everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
About what?
Because he fractured his wrist.
Right.
And broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
Yet the
allegedly.
picture was just in a sling with nothing on his wrist and nothing on his collarbone whatsoever.
Yeah.
And those are two extremely painful injuries in which you can't really move very much.
Yeah, my sister fractured her collarbone as a kid, and I fractured my wrist and arms many times. All I'm saying is, we need more proof.
Wasn't for the guy, James, that was like, hey, I'm leaving MIBR, and then the next day was like, haha, funny joke, I'm actually not.
It might have been.
I think it was Fer, wasn't it?
It may have been.
I think there's something going on here.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you think. Did Fer actually break his wrist, or
is it fake news?
Or is it alternative facts? Hashtag ECS8. Let us know what you think about that. We have some European games. We have a European game for you today. Semi-final number 2. We've got Virtus.pro versus Heroic. But let's have a look and see how these teams got to the place they're in at the moment. It's the grand final. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
It's not semi-final. It's the grand final.
Like,
I'm back in the room.
Here?
Sean, I went home at 1 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I was awake at 6 a.m. I don't understand why.
I was waiting for you to start streaming. I was going to talk in your chat. Both the same, actually, technically.
I was streaming.
I didn't see it. I must have went to sleep before you started.
I was streaming, man. I was streaming. Someone actually just said your name in the chat as well. That's like Sean Guess, and I was like, wait a minute, is he in there? Have I missed his message again? I was scrolling up and down, and there's no message in there. Yeah, it's been a weird week for sleep, but here we are. The grand final for Europe in week number 2. Again, 1 and 2 cumulative. Virtus.pro versus Heroic will be our final. Virtus.pro having taken out Trick 2-0 and Espada 2-1. On the flip side, Heroic have not dropped a map with 2 huge victories, only getting bigger versus Heroic and then Avangard. That was a surprise yesterday.
It is really weird, even though obviously we casted that series yesterday, Heroic and Avangard, looking at the bracket and seeing the 2-0 over them. It still doesn't quite make sense, but at the same time, the match that we saw against Big was really impressive, and I think gave us pause for thought, and we actually had a split on the predictions, you know, when it came to that match yesterday, because they look so good, and they beat Avangard, not just... I mean, they beat on Dust too, which is like Avangard's, that's their map.
Those were epically close maps, too. Like, they managed to win in overtime in both those maps, right?
And Heroic won every pistol, too.
Yeah, you would think Avangard would settle down in the overtimes and probably steal a game. Heroic also won that round at 15-14 on Inferno. Remember, you said there's no way we're going to that lead.
Yeah.
They ended up going to overtime, and they ended up winning.
Yeah, it was a wild ride for Heroic and all their victims up to this point. And for Virtus.pro, they're a team who have been steadily improving, steadily growing as a team, and it's going to be interesting to see how far they can go moving forward into this final. Can anybody stop Heroic? They're just pulling out these victories from I don't know where, but they've looked good. They've looked really interesting. After a bumpy road, I think pre-Cadian. I don't know if he was on the team when they got 16-0 by Freiburg.
No. No, he wasn't.
No.
So he just joined them.
Yeah, so they're showing some promise. We'll see how far it goes. Speaking of how far things go, I just had a test flight with my drone. I replaced the flight controller yesterday. And if you want to look at the top-down camera, I can show you how successful it was. As we can see, this propeller is missing 2 pieces. Only half of it started whirring, and then it went upside down. I thought things were going to go terribly wrong, so I did it in the meeting room. Otherwise, maybe I would have killed someone. So this is one I chopped up my hand, and I still have some scars. But I was outside the meeting room looking through the window, and it just
You're outside the meeting room. It's like in a contained quarantine
you don't understand.
environment.
This thing is so powerful. Like, these things go more than 100 miles an hour. And look,
So where are the other two
new
blades at?
G-Shock. Look, it's amazing. They're on my table.
How did they come off?
It went upside down and they just exploded a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a little explosion.
Did they go like flying like often?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's scary.
It just went.
It's like flying blades.
Yeah, this thing's really dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
really, really dangerous. So I'm actually taking the propellers off at the moment to do a test between maps. But anyway, let's get into speaking of maps. Let's get into the veto and see where we will be playing, where these teams are going to play. And I'm interested. I would like to see Nuke actually.
I want to see Vertigo.
I
We
like
keep
his
seeing it as
music.
like a third map, but we never. Ugh, why you do
Give me
this?
Nuke, give me Nuke. Hey, there we go. I need to learn how to play Nuke properly. I only play outside, really, but if I'm playing with Con, I let him play outside. So I'm trying to learn how to play ramp, but it's often solo. But anyway, we're gonna have Dust 2. I'm glad we're gonna see more Dust 2. I'm curious to see how this particular matchup will be on Dust 2. Dust 2, Mirage, and Nuke will be the 3 maps of this series. No Vertigo building for you today.
No
Maybe
Vertigo.
later on in North America.
Hopefully so. We've seen Heroic play Dust 2 against Big and Avantgarde, 2 very good Dust 2 teams. Beat them both. Those were very close games, obviously. Could have gone either way. Virtus.pro, they keep picking Mirage, which is really cool, because having your best map be Mirage, it's one of those things that it always works out, right? No one bans Mirage. So if you have it as your best map, it's always available for you to pick.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
I guess for now, until
It's interesting.
Doomsday.
Yesterday, I think it was, Mirage and Cash were added as scrimmage maps.
What does that even mean?
It means that you can play without affecting your rank. Basically, it's like a rankless matchmaking.
But why does that mean people think it's going to get removed?
Well, it's more casual than it's less competitive, more casual. I mean, it's still available in the competitive, but it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder. And maybe, I don't know, is it going to be like an old cache and a new cache, or
why was
how's it gonna
Mirage
work?
not there to begin with?
They had a Ruby and Breach as these scrimmage maps.
Oh,
I
so
believe
they're putting Mirage in the same category as Ruby and Breach.
Well,
That's not a good sign.
Yeah,
for Mirage.
Ruby got removed entirely, and Breach, I don't know where, got put somewhere else.
Okay.
I don't know where. So, I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe there's a map to come in the works. I really, do you know what? I haven't seen the last 2 majors I was at. Even at the FACEIT major, I didn't see the developers.
Yeah.
But the previous one, I think a lot of people were looking for them, but I couldn't find them. But
I saw Vitality.
I'm just curious to see what they're doing with canals.
Yeah.
Because I had a previous conversation. I enjoy it. I'm stimulated by the new ideas, and I play that map a lot. But I was talking to him about the how hard it is to get data. Like, you can only get data the hard way. You can only get data the hard way. With a map, basically, you can't. It's all well and good people saying, "Oh, I think this and think that," but really, I think that and realistically how things play out are very likely to be 2 different things, especially down to the whims of particular people.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're still working on that. I know there's a maps team. I don't know who is
I
part
wish
of that.
they would like partner with you guys with the map core project. I mean, there's some really cool maps I've put on there. I think you were aware. Like, there's a time on my stream where I just like had sub games on like all the different maps.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that was so much fun.
Well, they support it in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
With a few prizes and things.
There's
but
definitely maps in there that could be competitive.
Yeah. I feel like with the seasons we've done with MapCore, I think that it's just it's a great incentive to get your maps out there, man.
Yeah, but like, why? That's the worst part. Is like, there's all these community members make cool maps, but like Valve's not appreciating that.
Yeah, it's what's from a map maker's point of view as well. I think there's like this constant cycle of put Tuscan in.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of annoying for map makers because it overshadows the work they're doing.
Whatever happened to like Sub-Zero? That map's gorgeous. Like,
it's in the game. I mean, you can play it.
Yeah,
but
what makes it? And what's going to be the next map? Because maybe Cache comes back in, like the new Cache, when it has. I mean, it's very green, and it will be updated before the 10th. I know that for sure. But even then, it's like the same map with some differences, and for me, I'd rather see another map. I don't want to see recycling all the time.
I mean, I agree.
With that level of recycling, because Tuscan is technically recycling, but not for CSGO.
It's a weird one because I don't know. I just don't know. The problem is we don't understand the objectives of Valve really with a lot of this stuff, and so that makes it hard to understand where they're coming from. Because I said ages ago, why don't they just assemble a team of like 3 to 5 map makers from the the best map makers from MapCore, like they're always winning the competitions at MapCore, something like that, and just have them as a dedicated team. Focused only on producing new and updating current competitive maps, and then that way you groom a team that gets really good at making maps for competitive Counter-Strike, and they invest fully in that, because that's its own thing. That's like you have to be up to date with the meta and how everything develops and so on and so forth. And then I would imagine that after like a year or two, they probably figure out how to like release a map, and it wouldn't be terrible. Like, and need loads of updates immediately.
The change I want to see Valve make is kind of similar to a whole, supporting map makers. I think Valve should also like grasp on to like the surfing community and like the KZ community and the zombie mod community. There's so many communities inside CSGO that have nothing to do with the competitive game itself. Yeah. And
you could make operations out of those.
Yeah, you definitely could. And Valve just almost turns a blind eye to all that, and they're like, no, we just want 5 versus 5 Counter-Strike as matchmaking, and then maybe like death matching also. And now we're gonna add Danger Zone. Like Danger Zone's totally different. Why can we not have like KZ and surfing and stuff like that? Why don't they?
That's a very good question.
Why don't they grasp on that?
We'll have to talk about this more. It's time for predictions, people. Do you know what? It's hard to pick against Heroic at this point.
It is.
I don't know that Virtus.pro are that strong just yet. I'm gonna go for Heroic.
I think this is a really interesting series, given the maps. Dust 2, I'm thinking Heroic will take Dust 2, but Mirage, I really don't know. And Nuke, I think it's also a bit of a toss-up, honestly. I feel like that's a very hard one to predict. I'm going to go Heroic, but I think this this series really is going to go 3 maps, I think.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I'm a believer in Heroic. I mean, they've beaten some really good teams throughout this week.
Riding the momentum. What do you think?
I think it's pretty much a 50-50, but I'll just
kind of agree. But I'm thinking 60-40 Heroic. Oh, he's going for the VP. Okay, wants to be different, fair enough. All right, let's go with the people. What do the people think? I'm waiting for the polls now. Polls versus Danes in terms of crowd support. I think this could be. I'm not going to say 50. I think 65% Virtus.pro.
Oh, we're making guesses on that?
The people, 65%. Oh, 72, even bigger. Okay, fair enough. Got to respect the pierogi crew out there, man.
What are the James Bardoff odds? What do you think they're going to be?
The Pinnacle odds?
Yes.
I think that it's going to be 1.32 for Heroic. And I don't know what for Virtus.pro, but I think Heroic will be the favorite.
I'm going to go like 1.6.
Ooh, I'm liking this. This is fun. Very good, very good.
Guessing random numbers is fun, you guys.
It's not random numbers, okay? They're estimates.
I feel like Rain Man.
Not random numbers. I would have put down 1.32. I would have put. Maybe I'm too conservative. It needs to be at a level where people are interested and they want to put down.
You know what that means, James? That means that you think there's value on Heroic, right?
Maybe it does. Yeah.
You would think, as if you were like betting, you'd be like, "There's value here."
I suppose so.
I think they're less.
People were sending me screenshots of their bets yesterday. Successful bets. Somebody put money down on a 2-0.
Yeah.
They put like a €75.
Oh, you can do that. You can bet that it's gonna be 2-0, not a 2-1.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's not bad if you can get it.
Esports bets getting like fancy, right? Like traditional sports.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, I don't think it's a shutout, even though three of four of us voted for Heroic. I don't think it's a shutout.
It's pretty even, yeah.
Yeah. I think they're both at places in their team's timelines where either team could win, but I think it would need I feel like it would need a stronger performance from Virtus.pro, a stronger individual performance from the team as opposed to Heroic, which I suppose makes me think that Heroic are a better team than Virtus.pro.
I think Heroic have more tactical and strategical depth, which is interesting given how they are just they've just been assembled. But I think that's just part and parcel of having a bunch of Danish players, honestly, and players like Katie and Snappy, like these guys that are very focused on that area of the game. So, but Virtus.pro, they're pretty tight on the fundamentals, and the basics pretty well. So yeah, this is a cool matchup. And off the bat, we get Heroic going for a play into the B-bomb side. But the classic 2-man on catwalk for VP, it does allow them to have very fast rotations and to have an understanding of what's going on pretty quickly here.
Snax spots some Oh, PHR gets taken out. I do wonder if you're going to have a play like that, if the guy in the second guy should have a HE grenade ready for the ting, but there we go. Heroic will take the B bomb site. Veggie and Mihu will have a fast rotation, but they're in a 2 versus 4. Unable to help their teammates. Heroic slowing things down. You can see there is a flank in position as well. The plant will invite a peek from Mihu, and they will deal with him and make things even worse for Veggie. There is the flank. He gets a 1 versus 1. Bomb not planted just there. We've got flashbang support as well. Focusing on the frags, and Heroic will win by elimination.
Yeah, really cool stuff from Heroic. You can see they threw the Xbox smoke. They're probably planning on something a little bit different, but that adaptation, obviously, the second you see VP push tunnels, you get that first frag. Screw everything we went over. We're just hitting B right now, this very second. And yeah, they just ran over the site at that point.
Yeah, I like this Snax' decision making. I think he got unfortunate to get extra 1 or 2 kills out of it. I think that's the play he has to make, and he got nothing from it. I think the round looks pretty different if he does get the 1 or 2 kills he was pushing for. And S-Attack, someone that will definitely be looking for a performance from Borup as well. Cadian was the guy who had a pretty bad performance on Dust 2, but they still managed to win despite that. And that was largely due to S-Tag stepping up. So I'm curious where the performances will be for Heroic today. Nice nades coming in from Virtus.pro. Again, they did 4 spies, so always nice to pick up an early kill. Some good damage on S-Tag, but look at Stavin just looking for that information. What is this? This is a free bomb site, and he has a... Does he have a smoke? Yes, he does. And so that is a huge issue now for Virtus.pro. They are locked out of this bomb site. Stavin needs to toss the smoke in after this kill, maybe. Oh, there's another kill to be had. So Stavin locking it down.
Yeah,
just to go
they're
for
far
the
better
frags.
equipped, but now with 24 HP, may take a more passive approach. Half the team are tagged up, but with mostly scouts, Virtus.pro don't really have the right utility, the right toolage to go for a retake. They can reset the situation if they can retain 3 players alive for the next round.
That was such a dangerous round before Stavin made that play, right? I mean, they were down a man, S-Attack was low, and they were going against 3 scouts. He doesn't just walk into that bomb site at that exact moment. I wouldn't be willing to bet they lose this round.
Yeah, I agree completely. And the interesting thing too is that obviously VP committed really hard towards A. If they left like in 1 player towards that B bomb site, maybe Stavin has a 1v1 and he loses that 1v1, then the round is just over. So it's yeah, perfect thing happening for Heroic there. You can't also blame VP for putting all their chips on A in that situation. You really need, when you have a 4 spy, you really want those bodies in place. I'm really excited to see like who's gonna be delivering the goods here today. We've got a lot of really good players, a lot of clutch, a lot of great AWPers. And there you go. S-Attack will deal with Snax. And he's just gonna stay out there. Bit of death matching. Snatchy not having much fortune here. Does he go for it again? No. And I saw Threat tweeting today. Doesn't tweet very often.
What was he tweeting about?
He quoted Sponge talking about the Kriegs, and Threat was basically saying like that he's been of the mind. In fact, I can just read. I just quote it.
Yeah,
that's probably better.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I just quote him. But basically, Threat was echoing a lot of stuff that we were talking about yesterday.
So Threat loves the Kriegs, and he thinks no. I'm just kidding.
That's so.
Okay, we've got some Deagle problems here in the mid position. The bomb's been collected by Veggie as well as an AK-47 with some shiny stickers. Apparently it does plus 10 damage with shiny stickers. Not sure if true. 3v3. He might have PHR to hold an angle with the scouts as well. Angles aren't being... they're not really peeking too much in mid-doors. Obviously, don't expect Heroic to make a play, and they just did. Stavin thinking he was safe, but there's PHR with the headshot. Molotov to force Veggie back, but it's a 2 versus 2. 35 seconds on the clock. Veggie's got a smoke grenade. Does he realize? Well, I guess he couldn't really smoke off the bomb. They will pursue, it seems. The first swing, the transfer from Veggie. He gets a 3K with finishing off with the AK-47, and that is daylight robbery. Really catastrophic round for Heroic. Have a look at this. Fish, Bosch, Mihu with the second kill, actually. And a 2-man spray down on short. They tried to swing.
Wow.
They failed.
No, we were talking about how,
Right.
you know, the CTs can't really play aggressive on Dust 2 yesterday. I was thinking, when that Xbox smoke is down, the CTs can play pretty aggressive on Catwalk. Like, there's not that much to be afraid of at that point.
Maybe there's some value in putting the Xbox smoke down yourself as the CTs.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we'll see if there can be a recovery here for Virtus.pro. We've got a nice opening pick, but they still have the Krieg, of course, on Snacks, and they've got at least one player in the bomb side. It is going to be Snacks with that Krieg. Seems full back out, though. Doesn't have the position to fight, but maybe he can get some damage as they make their way forwards. Smoke for the doors. So it's an awkward spot for VP. They're not going to have much money, so they might want to consider a save here as well. They do have some utility, so there are some... This is a marginal situation. Here comes a flank from Borup. Okay, now surely save mode's activated. 3 players left, only 2 nades left. Too much value, don't want to throw it away. But yeah, so Sponge tweeted saying, this one is a virtual special. The first half of Mouse Sports, where they were on CT, versus Optic, where they were on T side, there were 91 kills, 22 of which were with the Krieg, all of which were the Mouse Sports players getting the kills. And that means all the Krieg kills came from the CT side. And so then Threat quoted that tweet saying this: I've been saying you should not buy the Krieg because it's way too overpowered for the CTs, which is what we were talking about yesterday as well.
Like the auto sniper.
Yeah, and especially on this map, if you think about how many problems the Krieg solves when you're, let's say you can't afford an AWP, or let's say you just have it with an AWP as well, or let's say you get to have that one guy anchoring the B-bomb site. Like suddenly there's a lot more spots that you can play, a lot more decisions that are pretty solid that you can make.
I mean, it's a good point because the AK is already a one-shot kill gun, right? The Krieg doesn't bring that much additional value to T-sides unless you're talking like people just running out in the open on nuke like we saw yesterday, right? Like 3 people running side by side. But like when you're taking these close quarter fights, you might as well just have an AK.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting actually, and this is also another thing about you not necessarily wanting there to be too much of an overreaction from the developers in terms of let's say they balance the Krieg, and so then the Krieg's never used. Because at this point, maybe the meta shifts when people will realize this, and then we'll just see a natural shift to like, maybe there's a Krieg every so often as opposed to 5 Kriegs all the time on T-sides.
Stammen creating some space. Trying to make a play. Oh, he's failed the first jump, that's a clue. Slice to get the lurk smoke out there, and able to quietly hop up here. Can be looked for though, of course. We've got a Molotov executed into the A-bomb site. That's the flashbang I was talking about yesterday for snipers. There is a sniper on PHR, but he is out of position for the A-bomb site. Plenty of damage done by Mihu. Can it be followed up upon? Borup almost caught with a Molotov in his hand. Trying to throw the wine bottle, but the Krieg rather will do. Everybody's tagged, Borup more so. Any hit will do the job now, surely. There's the swing. Sees that one, CT is some distance away, 20 seconds, and I do wonder if he's going to save now. Surely the rotation's going to take too long. Seems like he's going for it. But 10 seconds.
Get a free frag right here.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
If he spots PHR, okay, he has to, but PHR just adjusts in time.
So what do you think about that concept, Sean, that maybe there won't be a Krieg nerf if, let's say, people figure things out and think, oh, you know what? Actually, there's so much risk to buying the Kriegs because of the CT. It's like actually so much better for the CTs. We're actually going to be hamstringing ourselves. And then the Krieg usage drops dramatically out of the meta. Then is there a need for a change?
Reasonable human beings like you and I, Dan, we would say, yeah, let's not buy as many Kriegs. But I know pro players, and if they know one gun is better than another gun, they're going to buy the better gun. Like, they're not going to think...
They're going to think ahead.
If they win the round, what's the problem?
Yeah, they're not going to think, if I die, they have a better gun. They're going to be like, well, I'll just win the fight. I won't die.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
The Krieg is like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Essentially, when you scope it. The Incredible Hulk in Marvel vs. Capcom games is absolutely destroying people. Gamma Crush all day. Snatchy making his way towards the long position. There'll be a gap in that smoke. Is there another smoke to be deployed? Doesn't look like it. Only 2 flashbangs. This is going to be painful. There are flashes to deploy. Again, got to learn that MSL smoke into CT spawn, and then maybe they could deal with this in numbers rather than giving Snatchy the 1 versus 1s. We're up now by the cart with the Krieg, looking for the rotation. Oh, that's a huge headshot with the Krieg, but he will get traded from long just in time by PHR. An expensive round for Virtus.pro, but a successful one.
He had the read. He had the read on the long flank too. It's just the timing didn't work out in his favor. But yeah, that was a very poor spawn smoke. They need to learn the MSL one that you were talking about.
Everyone does. It's just good because sometimes you're going to be on your own.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in a situation where someone's going to be in CT or something.
Are you talking about the smoke that lands in CT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not from long though, but from close to the corner.
Yeah, that's a smoke as well in which people should be, like, that changes the eco anti-force buy push so much because it's one smoke and then they can't kind of boost behind the smokes that are close to you and all that kind of stuff, flash through it. So you just shut down those options as well. I want to see people using that more often.
Should we be scared for Veggie right now? I feel like I'm a little bit nervous for Veggie.
Leave Veggie alone. Oh, okay. Well,
that's what I'm talking about. Why aren't more people doing that? Look at the damage. Just 1 HE. Guy standing here on his own. And he can follow up on that damage and delay. One of them is stuck in a choke point now. Miyu getting some kind of isolated frags, but here we go. 3 versus 3. 1 rifle now for Heroic. Cadian playing off the pop flash. That's a huge frag to get. Now Virtus.pro out of position, rotating toward that short area and taking one in the face. Sit down, monsieur.
Oh, just going for that gun instead of holding position. Maybe that's given an opening to PHR. Let's see if he can make something of this. Don't need to peek.
No
Snappy on 6 HP. PHR, we need to go really fast. He's going to fall back, though. Might get a free kill out of it. There it is. But he doesn't know about... Or does he? He did for a moment. Cadian will take him down. It's really funny, isn't it, sometimes? Like, that situation where... I forget who it was. I think it's Borup. Yeah, Borup that runs forwards instead of just holding cat. Now, if he doesn't die, PHR's not even thinking about trying to go for anything here. Maybe he just saves the M4. But because he gets the kill there, he's thinking, maybe I can get some more damage in, and then he dies because of that. Like, you almost commit him into dying. It's really weird how that happens in different scenarios.
Debated.
We've got a pretty even game on our hands here. It is more difficult to stabilize the CT economy, though. And Heroic, they continue their trend of winning pistols again against Avangard. They won every pistol.
So we've seen 5 straight. I don't remember the big pistol breakdown.
I don't either.
But at minimum, they've won 5 straight.
Yeah.
Which is quite impressive. And their CT side dust 2 has been really good when we've seen it.
Yeah, it has been.
They've always squeaked out like 7 rounds, I think. 5-7. This is James's baby. That's a really sweet 5-7 to get, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hyper Beast, right?
Cat boost.
Yeah.
I like the one, I don't even know what it is that I have at the moment, to be honest. Okay, let's see if he's got the aim for it. Staven's been really important as well. He's got a lot of important kills for Heroic in this week to help them get up to this point. Well, Cadian's having a better game so far than yesterday's Dust 2. Okay, we've got Deagles all over the place. Veggie again causing problems. Okay, through the smoke. There's just nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is be a victim, and the Deagles continue. It's a Deagle party. Meat shops for days. It's a calorie overdose for Heroic. Cadian is left trying to avoid that Deagle obesity, but I think it's coming.
Deagle obesity. I actually do like the decision for Cadian not to just go onto the site. We'll see if it benefits him. There's a free kill. PHR going down towards elevator. They know where Cadian is now. He's got 40 seconds, so he could try to go back still. And he might get flanked if he's not careful. He's staring, just tunnel vision on CT. And it's very worrying because Veggie's ready in the back, waiting for his teammate Mihu to come in, and it's unexpected to be in this angle, but Kaden gets the kill. Now he runs with knife out towards long. He did not expect Mihu's rotation. Very nice from Mihu. Very nice from VP.
Yeah, when Mihu started shooting like that, I was just like, oh, that's a dead giveaway that he's baiting for someone, right? No one would give away their position in a 2-on-1 like that. So I was really nervous at that point. But him rotating back around to long A made that really smart, in my opinion.
Those rounds are really frustrating to lose. Just the deagles getting killed through, headshot through smokes, all sorts of stuff that feels random and hashtag do it on LAN.
I do feel though when you're playing against an eco team, similar to what we just saw, you should be throwing the deep spawn smoke instead of the close smokes, because the closer you can get with pistols, obviously, the better. So you want to negate that randomness.
It's funny, too, because we just made that point a few rounds ago where we were talking about those smokes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why teams don't do that more.
Yeah. It
just seems like a pretty good protocol. Because you can just, when you throw that smoke, just molly the close positions to allow yourself to push. Pretty... much more simple. Look how strong this position's kind of ridiculous with the Creek. It's almost better than having an AWP there.
People are patient, like we saw yesterday with Mayon.
Yeah, Mayon, yeah.
Yeah. Like just those tabs, it just looks so easy. Looks so nice.
A lot of these rounds earlier going down to the wire, very back and forth affair. Caught in the doors, Stavin pulls out the gun, but not in time. No need for Snacks to move, really, especially with that weapon. And Virtus.pro move to 5. 4 from 5 as well. And Heroic are in Eco Town. After winning the pistol, it's been a mixed bag, mostly filling the bag of Virtus.pro.
And how... Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, how cool would a retro version of this game be, where you press a button and everything just becomes like the 1.6 aesthetic.
Why don't you
everything.
just play 1.6?
Didn't they do that recently?
Does 2 round per round.
Yeah.
I never played that mode.
I didn't either. It sounded so sweet.
You should just go and just go and play on a server in 1.6. You want the death animations. You want everything to look like it.
Yeah.
You basically want to play 1.6.
Yeah, I feel like people glorify 1.6 a little bit too much. As someone that played a lot of 1.6, Go is the better game.
It is a better game.
It's a much better game.
I agree. But there are some things that are kind of cool.
I do like...
Aztec was cool.
I do like the control you had over your model, like in midair. I felt like you could like strafe jump and stuff like that a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like about the one thing that I would take.
Movement is... I want more movements, more focus on movement, but if we've got a big movement from Heroic... Oh dear.
Wow.
Double burn victims there from Veggie's Molotov is incendiary. $600 well spent. And that's the rounds, I would imagine, unless something catastrophic happens. Do you guys feel like it's fair that the Molotov is significantly cheaper than the incendiary?
On the T side.
Yeah. Molotov cheaper than the incendiary?
Yeah.
Do you think that's cool?
Well, I suppose if you look at it, the CTs start with the real estate in most cases, and the Ts have to fight for it and take it.
But you already have
no
more
problem with
expense as the CTs.
You do?
Because you have to...
That's why the Creek should be more expensive.
The only thing that really mitigates it is that you don't have to buy helmets, but in Go you kind of do still most of the time.
I mean, shoot, man. Why does it even cost $400? It's like a bottle with a cloth.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the cost?
Someone's got to put that together.
This is Dom Perignon bottle.
I got to pay the bills. My factory of children who are putting all that things together. You know, I want to be rich. Yeah.
I mean,
I've got my child laborers. Someone's got to feed them rice.
Terrorists need to be mad at their own people, charging $400 a Molotov.
Yeah, getting bad deal.
It's inflation. We've come a long way.
It's incredible.
Since the old days. Not riding camels anymore. Or should I say horses? I should say horses. Is St. Camel's racial profiling?
Kind of.
Horses. Let's go with horses. I'm thinking the Silk Road.
Horses for courses.
Thanks for that, Dan. I don't know how that contributes to the conversation, but
Hey, a little rhyme here or there, never hurt anyone.
that's my brain.
BP is running away
Brain's
with these
beyond
right now.
Beyond repair. Okay. Down. Look at this.
There's
4
no
man.
eyes on Catwalk either.
4 players down suicide for the fastest
man.
possible
This
cat
is
timing.
definitely working.
Yeah, this is a GG. Not enough teams actually
She's
do
definitely
this.
getting caught off guard.
This is so strong. Oh my god, we should do this in Pugs, man. It's so strong. Just out of position straight away. You hit a timing. All it takes is them not to look in the middle, and that's the round. That's a pretty sick double from Snappy as well. I don't think they even needed him to get any kills. Positionally, they're already so strong. Snappy gets a 3rd one though, and that will be the round for sure. And that's the thing, like, you know, you talked about it before, Sean. You know, especially with the way that the CTs will smoke the double doors to try to get across. If there's any level of fear and you can get someone for free down suicide, why not get the entire team down suicide? And then you take the bomb site because most of the A players are at catwalk, at long at the early timings, and so now you're on the A bomb site and no one's there. It's so huge.
And that's why you see a lot more of those suicide drops now out of the T's, is because on this version of Dust 2, you know, you can't use that nade smoke to cross anymore. So all the CTs now, the meta is, let's use one of our smokes to cross so that way we don't get picked through the gap. Well, unfortunately, that makes, you know, the fast drop open for the T's.
You know what I'm thinking on Eco, on Inferno? If you throw a Molotov down mid, on the CT side, CT Eco, if you throw a Molotov down mid, and then throw two HEs behind it, but rather than run down mid, run to second mid, they probably can't see you over the flames and all the muck kicked up by the HE grenades. I feel like you could have a 3-man swing on second mid, and people would not be prepared for it.
I think sometime, what was the team that did that? Someone did that at the major.
Oh, really? Using grenades to cross?
So it worked really well. They peeked in all.
That may be a subliminal message.
Fatality, maybe? I don't know.
Virtus.pro have got 8 rounds on the board on their CT side. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
So while we can marvel at the round we just saw from Heroic, that's a much-needed round for them. This is, would you call this like a high-scoring half for Virtus.pro?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really good.
Especially considering they lost pistol.
So look at this situation too, because Heroic is set up for the default. Oh, Veggie's just gonna get out there. That's crazy that he's standing up there, but there was no response from Heroic. They had 4 players there, and nobody's ready for anything like that. And we've seen that move is pretty common as a way to get in ahead of the push and catch players off guard.
Speaking of which, Borok turns around and dies. That sucks.
We actually saw in the Dust 2 yesterday, Heroic versus Avangar, Heroic trying to do that against Avangar and getting shut down because Avangar expected it. It's kind of in meta.
Cadian has 20 seconds remaining in the second last round of the first half. Is he actually going to go for this? 15 seconds now. That will take a lot of shortcuts and AWP will be lost. Will he be able to buy another one? Probably gambling on a 1 versus 1. Yep, they're fine for money, so he has to go for it. Everything is fine. But he has gifted Virtus.pro an AWP.
Damn. And I wonder if they're all playing so far back as well because they also fear an HE coming in or something like that. But that really worked out for Veggie.
I feel like Veggie is just owning them right now. Like
Yeah.
Very, very impactful frags.
That's true.
1, 2, 3 flashbangs. 1 from the CTs, 2 from the Ts. Where's this going? Okay. More reasonable lineup.
They don't know he's out.
Ooh, is he going to continue to creep, Snatchy? Oh, that's enough. As long as you don't shoot the bag on the back, you're good. I think he may have just spotted Veggie there. He continues to hunt, trying to catch him off guard, looking at the short plant position. Spots him, and that's a very clean shot from Cadian. Doing much better today. This is the Cadian we expect. Maybe going too far on that one. But there's still a man advantage, so I think it was a calculated risk from him. Half crossing from threw a Molotov, half a smoke. That was the job. Not even shot at. There is the rest of the smoke. BG just runs in absolutely dry. No flashes for his team. Big gamble taken. Big gamble failed.
Well, it's not looking good here for Virtus.pro. There's no support at all. Just waiting out the smoke. PHR goes down. Snacks gets attacked, but he will get finished off too. And that will be 6-9 for Heroic. Not the best T side, considering they won the pistol. Great performance from Virtus.pro. Virtus.pro stand in good stead to take this map. We'll see if they can do it after the break.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Be like Bottle. Build your own community with your very own hub. Join other hubs and play more maps competitively than ever before. Compete for prizes and win FACEIT points just by playing your favorite games. It really is that simple. Join the community or create your own. Only at FACEIT.com.
We're back! But will Heroic be back? We will have to find out. They've won every pistol rounds, well, at least counting the Avangard match, going into this match as well. But will they win this one? Looks like they need it. They are behind. And you don't normally see this many rounds out of a CT side, so VP has done a great job. We get a mid push. I love this. Mid push for days. This is how you play Counter-Strike. Rush mid. And it will be spotted, so that's not good news, because that means the bomb is guaranteed to go down now. But it's all about the retake. It's all about the headshots. Looks like it will go well here so far for Virtus.pro. 4 up, doing some damage. Get himself a double. That's so critical. He's creating so much distraction, too, for his teammates to get close. And the boost is doing damage as well.
Style points for Heroic, and Snack was left with the Glock. Multiple people. I don't know how many 1v1s Virtus.pro were able to get in that pistol round. Heroic using the numbers really well.
They win all the pistols.
All of them.
All
I really
pistols.
like their idea right there, though. So they pick mid in the beginning, right? Because that's when the T spots mid. And then they know, like, about the meta timing of when that T would leave mid, which is probably like 5 seconds later. And that's when 3 of them push mid. It's really cool.
It is really cool.
Also, 4 up. Insanely talented.
He is pretty talented. I like his name as well. I wonder what it means. Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
I like how he trails off with like a bunch of P's.
Isn't it his last name?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's his last name. That's what it means.
Yes.
It means this is my last name.
I wonder what... James, what does your alias mean?
It's my initials.
No,
Just
like, the spelled out one.
Just the
James Bardolph. Like, what does that mean?
What does it mean? Bardolph apparently means axe-wielding wolf.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
There you go. What does Sean Grills mean?
Yeah, let me get back to you on that. I can't think of anything that's better than axe-wielding wolf.
9-7. Virtus.pro still in the lead. They've got an AK-47 and a Krieg out of this. And they wait for more mid-aggression versus a very well-equipped Heroic, all things considered. The Orcs continue. Not as popular as they used to be, but Heroic will certainly pick a pair up. The wide swing in mid. Nothing seen just yet. Cadian awaits players on platforms. Currently looking towards the Xbox. Goes for the flick, not landing the shot. Does he go back to the well with the flashbang? He does. Some information towards short, and he will quietly make his way towards A.
Yeah, this is the typical thing, typical way to play these kinds of rounds. Oh, that's a good name. You can get Catwall for free, and so you're very close to a bomb site, and you're also in a position where you can toss nades onto the side. Very patient from Burab, I like that. Gets the tag actually, finished by Cadian. Burab knows he doesn't want to die. It doesn't have to go for kills, just has to create presence and not die. Allows his teammates to get into position, and this is a beautiful execution from Heroic on the defense, I have to say. Virtus.pro could not get to that short plant, which is what all of this was about, the short plant, and then maybe a post-plant defense.
Yeah, Borup and Cadian played that perfectly.
Yeah.
Like the way Borup was patient, took his peeks, did damage. He had them all waiting, and then that allowed Cadian to get that shot off. And then again, he made a little bit of a presence. Let Cadian get another shot off. That was like textbook perfect play between those two.
Yeah. Too often people just commit.
We might have seen a flash come from long, from SC-Tech, maybe.
Timing HE top mid will be pretty damn good. 40 HP taken from Snacks. Again, if a grenade hits you and then explodes, it can do up to 101 damage if you have no Kevlar in 2 hits. They will get cut to pieces. The Orgs announcing their presence. M4 so nice to use as well, however. Eagle shot teased, but he will be denied by Monsieur Borup. And just like that, it's 9-9.
I like that we're seeing Orgs here from Heroic. I think that when the nerf came in, there was an overreaction of not buying the Orgs. The Orgs are still really good. And especially on maps like Dust 2, really good. Maps like Train, really good. It has a lot of utility in very specific spots. So I'm happy that Heroic understand that.
Yeah, I feel like there should still be a lot of value with the AUG on Dust 2.
Absolutely, he was so good. Notorious for defending the B bomb sites especially. Borup comes up, can't see over the flames, but eventually he will do, and he'll find himself a frag in PHR, spraying towards the doors, not too shy to continue revealing the tracers, chasing with the Deagle. That's a big headshot, and he pursues even further.
That's
He's going
beautiful.
through long doors almost.
That HE though. Savage stuff. And I don't know what they can do here. Stabbing. And Snappy will finish off the rest. What a strong start on CT side out of the gate. Look at the confidence from Borup as well. Love that. Just chasing it with the Deagle. Knows that he can get some more value here.
And all week, I've just been so impressed by Borup and Stavin.
Yeah, I
These
agree.
two players are so good. Just the way Stavin was like falling back. That nade was perfect. The peek with the scout. He's just taking as many shots as possible. And that he's just like could not gain ground on him to trade or kill him even.
So here we go. Heroic, you know, they didn't have a great first half, but this TT side is looking really nice so far. Still, they haven't been up against too many buy rounds, but what we've seen has been impressive. And as you said, Sean, yesterday, their CT side against Avangard was really impressive, and Avangard have one of the best T sides on this map in the business. So definitely a promising start for them.
Run boost attempted. Borup doesn't land the spray this time. Cadian trying to hold down the fort. Repositioning to a safer space, but took too long with the grenade. Really have to be decisive with that. Now it's winnable for Snacks. Dab hand with an AWP. Moving towards the Gandalf position. P250 out. and move faster at least. Just need to get around the corner. He's got the bomb as well, and he's just about made it. Heroic don't know if the site is safe just yet. Snacks doesn't know if there are 2 players or just 1 around A. So he's looking for a lurker on short. Close range, no scope perhaps. Now he knows the site's been compromised. Does he stand his ground? A HE could end everything if Stavin throws it. There's only so many places he could have gone, but they're starting to creep towards B now. Although S-Tag has the presence of mind to go back and have a look. Catches Snacks on a timing. 11-9 for Heroic.
It's a shame that they lost so many players there. You feel like maybe I don't know if it was slightly complacent, just a confidence against the pistols, or what it was, but their money's amazing. And I can't help but feel like it would have been cool to see more, but that's okay. First, well, another big buy round coming in from VP. The AWP on Snatchy looking to be quite domineering on these double doors, but will not find a frag. Fairly fast up catwalk here from Virtus.pro, but there's a 2-man setup there from Heroic as well. And Borup does a lot of damage. The HE to go through to try to follow up, but it's a very fast adjustment from VP straight through middle, straight into the B split. Don't expect ace attack though. He's in a fantastic position. What a headshot from Snatchy though. VP, they are struggling here. Oh my god, they are struggling big time.
It seems like positionally, Heroic just always has a massive advantage.
Yeah, you're right.
There's always someone in an angle that VP just isn't expecting. Every single round it's happened so far. I mean, it's just hats off to Heroic. They're playing a really hard style to read. They're playing very good teamwork CS.
Yeah, I didn't expect this to look so good. They're doubling up on the AWPs now as well. They've changed their setup. They're pushing middle with Cadian, and Snacks will take Borup down in a long position. So that's a good edge for VP. They have sped up the pace enormously. Cadian tries to get himself through the smoke. It's a good idea, but PHR looks for that. It's not looking great here now for Heroic. Just down to Stavin, rotating from that B-bomb site, but he's against 4.
Suddenly things have become very expensive for Heroic. Their money will be gone after the next round. Stavin has a look, nothing doing. Virtus.pro, that was a really hard fought for first, well, opening frag on the long position. Cadian's timing could have been everything, but it was just a little off, a little too early, but how could he know? So Virtus.pro will get their first round of the first half. That will take their loss bonus down a few notches, but also it's made very expensive as it can be for Heroic. And there have been frags in the previous round, so this money will soon disappear for the CT side. All of a sudden, despite their success, it becomes a very important round for Heroic. Otherwise, they may be done for, at least in the short term of this game. The first game of this best of 3 series, Dust 2.
With 3 ops.
Okay, 1 mid, 1 A, 1 B, I suppose. Does that mean most people towards A? It does. 3 towards A. And Stavin alone with the AWP towards B. Heroic showing presence in a mid position. Not the most common default we see, as we saw from Heroic's rush up short on the first half. Now, surely Virtus.pro don't expect this. Not 3 ops.
Tag. Gets caught there, looking for that Xbox peak. There's a smoke from the CTs to slow things down around mid. VP with that cat control. And now they can make some decisions here. They can try to smoke the rail, apply some pressure, pull the CT player back. That's what's happening now. Don't often see triple orbs these days. VP gravitating towards that late, long take. However, Borup is close.
Where is that going? CT? That would probably be faster than the one thrown from through the doors. Is that on short then, on cat, I guess? Let's look at that later. We've got the 2-man swing. Borup's expecting a flashbang, but still gets a second kill. How on earth has he done that? The bomb is at his feet as well, looking for a third one. He rings the bell of Snacks, leaves him with 12 HP. That is a ridiculous performance from him. 15 seconds left for Virtus.pro. This was a huge round for both squads, but how on earth can they turn this around? There's a wide swing with a flashbang from Snappy, the trade from Snatchy, but at this point it's a safe situation, and it should have been a lot more.
Borup is MVP, man.
Yeah, that was a sick strat though by VP. You could see they had catwalk control. Snacks through the railing smoke. Whoever was on catwalk through, you know, the CT spawn drop smoke. So if you're a CT, you're thinking, okay, there's multiple people on catwalk. This looks like some kind of A execute, potentially to a mid B split, and then 4 people are out long, like immediately. So Borup was totally alone right there. For him to get 2 frags and a headshot on the third guy,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work for him to be putting in right there.
Yeah, that a final headshot, as 1 bullet fired, and boom, headshot straight away. If he had time to fire the second bullet, it would have been a kill. Crazy. Also, like, I love the communication there as well, because you see that he turns away just before the second frag because a flash is coming in. And so, again, like, these are some of the details that we're seeing out of Heroic that are supremely surprising. Because we do give teams in Counter-Strike, and I don't know that it will always be this way, we give them a lot of time. We give them like 3 months for a new lineup to see, you know, how good is this lineup going to be. Heroic honestly look really damn good after two bloody weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Cloud9 yesterday, right? Their team
Yeah.
that was put together almost like months ago at this
3
point.
months ago.
3 months ago.
Actually, 3 months ago yesterday, they was officially signed.
I mean, you know,
I believe it was.
Heroic looks like they have like 4 extra layers to all of their strats.
Yeah. And they've got some good individual star power to back it up. Definitely an exciting team, I have to say. Danish Counter-Strike, man, it is something that is for sure. Cat Take comes in, Mihu gets himself a kill, but there's 2 more players where that came from. Not expecting there to be such a commitment towards Cat, and I love that they're both going towards long, but before the smoke blooms, Snatchy picks off Borup. Big opportunity now. It's down to Snappy to prevent the B site from falling into enemy hands. Oh, Snatchy played that so well. Oh, Snacks played that so well, baiting him in.
That's super frustrating.
The baits.
Yeah, those jiggle peeks, the jump baits, and you get flanked.
I like how wild this game is. It's fast-paced, it's action-packed. It's like the third movie, or second movie in a trilogy of action movies like Stallone, Schwarzenegger era.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hans Gruber. And the money's been broken for the CT side. A problem of success, sometimes abrupt failure.
Oh.
Where's the money at? That's great from Snatchy. He continues to have great consistency. He is really like a predator, Polish predator, with the 3 dots moving around the server, seek and destroy. There's a swing. Swing and a hit for both. How many more tags can these scouts get? A Deagle and a P250 to follow up. And let's not forget that HE grenade on S tag. He's towards the B bomb site though. I love to see the HEs towards A. Unless it's a pistol round, then I would like to see one in B. Get somebody, find out early information and lob the HE in. There's only so many places they can go, i.e. nowhere. Heroic. Posturing on the A bomb site, preparing. Stavin has cleared the B halls. They've made the right play. Just need to hide the secrets now.
It's crazy to think after all of Heroic's success, it's still not guaranteed whatsoever just because they struggled against VP's great CT side as well.
They have this read. 4 people A.
Oh,
flank coming from Stavin.
Borup.
They got the entry from Borup. What is VP doing? They're sitting here for way too long.
Interesting.
Oh, Stavin's playing this so smart too.
Yeah.
It's almost like they've got too much advantage and had to... It's like when you turn the Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, put the handicap stars up, make things harder for yourself. Because by default, maybe it feels too easy. Crossing now with some, but not all of the players. S-Tag will fall to the flames. We can see there's a short rotation. Not committing to the bomb plant just yet. They're thinning out the numbers. And Dan goes to bomb. It's bad plant. It's a safe plant. But they shouldn't have too much concern in trying to hold on to that. Mihu will take Stavin out. And then it was just Cadian with Desert Eagle in CT spawn. Not much left for him to do. Did look worrisome for Virtus.pro, being surrounded by the armies of Heroic, but they were a weakened army. They were maimed. They had sticks, not swords. Stones, but not arrows.
It's really encouraging as well to see that, you know, the guy that's standout is today so far is Borup. Yesterday, it was Isatak who came to the rescue for Heroic. So, you know, just seeing that depth of the skill on Heroic is encouraging for that team. And they're in a lot of trouble now, though. We will have to see if they can find something out of this. They would have loved to have somehow got a kill and stolen a weapon into this round. Would have been nice, but cat boost it is. Stavin taking some damage on the cross. And going fast down suicide is free in a round like this. Alright, everyone's dying, so...
Bloody hell.
Borup is all that stats.
Well, we thought it would be a 50-50, and the score certainly says so. But who is at the advantage once the full buys are back? What will the money look like for Virtus.pro?
Well, they boosted over that smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I was like, how's he being shot right
He's
now?
probably like, 1 versus 5 and they're boosting over smoke? Nerds! He's probably so mad.
Will Cadian forget Kevlar? No.
The boom AWP.
Yeah, love it.
It's like the first AWP skin, I feel like.
That was huge.
The lightning strike was one of them too, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back when you could actually make lightning in a game.
Oh, with the Zeus bug.
Yeah.
That was something. That was pretty epic.
Oh,
One of the more interesting bugs we've had. Borup still a problem on this long position. Not too late just yet. 13-13. Really going down to the wire now. Mihu charging up short. Oh, he hasn't looked to his left, and Snappy gets a free kill. Can't expect him to be sitting in a position like that, but he's holding mid from distance, and Mihu chose the wrong round to make a fast play.
Snappy waiting. It's a pretty strong angle. You see the legs, as you can see, it's so strong. Snatchy goes down to that position. I think you talked about that. You guys were talking about that before.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that on like first or second day. I wasn't a fan. James likes it.
Thumbs up from me.
VP definitely. I mean, that one position's basically killed this round for VP now. Heroic bouncing back in the most critical moments. Nice headshot. And given that Mirage is next, I feel like Heroic's best chance to win this is in a 2-0. I feel like if we go to Nuke, I'm not feeling Heroic for Nuke against VP.
That's quite true, yeah. I would actually say like I'd probably like slightly favor VP on Mirage and Nuke.
Yeah, yeah.
I just kind of picked Heroic based on the teams they've beaten and you know like what they've looked like.
Yeah.
But VP is going like blow for blow with them right now on Dust 2. This is impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
Saw an elbow, maybe expected a repeat. Little pre-fire there, not quite hitting the mark. Oh, that flick is so clean. It's so clean from Snatchy. It's just perfect.
It's amazing.
Took a few moments over the flames to see for both players, but Snatchy comes out on top and he just takes the B bomb site single-handedly, looking for the rotation, a tag through the door. He has done so much damage. And Heroic don't have the information, really. They know Snatchy's hanging around. Veggie gets taken up by that double stack in the entrance. Now we've got 2 plays in red, but if they're alive, that is an issue. Cadian forced back. HE doing 1 damage. Now we've got 2 plays towards B, and it'll be a fast play towards A.
There's still a... Oh, no. Oh my god, Borup, you've got to be careful. There's HEs looking for the taps. He's trying to be patient, but it's just too difficult. And I thought maybe with Stavin getting that kill in B with 5 HP, I thought maybe there's a chance here. But it will be save City for Heroic.
They have to save these. This is very important that they save these 2 ops.
The loss bonus is a mere $1,900.
This Heroic team's so awesome to watch. I feel like they always give us all 30 rounds. Like
Yeah.
They play everyone close.
You could buy 19 of my G-Shocks with this loss bonus. That wouldn't be a bad investment because you can't find them in America. They're selling them for double the price at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Where would I get one from then?
I found a place by chance and it was sold out, so you'll have to wait.
Can you buy one in the UK for me, James? I'll pay you back.
I'll see. I'll have a look. Halvor picked one up.
Nice.
Vendetta sent me a message earlier with one. So yeah, if I see one, I'll grab one for you.
Nice. That is so
To
nuts.
flick that angle is, that's a lot. You're asking a lot.
We've seen Snatchy in that situation, I feel like, multiple times this week, where he's walking into the B site and he just knows there's a guy closet. It's just slowly clearing it, and you just know for a fact that guy's dead. I think he did it in his 1 versus 4 that we saw him.
I missed the wall bangs there. Got me nostalgic now.
Yeah, from the tunnels.
Yeah.
Snatchy coming in like the Grim Reaper.
To be honest, like, if you look at the construction, we use more bricks to construct things in Europe than you do in America.
Yeah.
It's more like wood and
Stuff that will
I suppose
burn really
plasterboard.
quickly.
Yeah. So I feel like there could be more wall banks, but you know, the game is also good as it is. So flashes over towards the long position. Snacks makes his way through. He's the point man once again, very close to the smoke. Some inquisitive spray. There's one player buying a ramp, and he's not going to get deleted. Borup, of course, can hold things down with the M4A4. PHR having a look, walking into a headshot from Cadian. This is the start that Heroic needed.
And now middle has been taken by Virtus.pro. It's the adjustment, but the spray through the smoke is good. And now this is a problem. Got to commit to these fights. CTs are not going to let you get away without taking some extra damage. And they have a collective 18 points of health. Not a good look. Rotation to long. Also not a good look because Cadian is posted up with an AWP. And
18 points of health, but they're against 2 ops.
there's the first connection from Cadian, though. Snatchy has an AWP himself. Again, Dust 2 is it's the map where you can win a clutch like this, but obviously it's not easy. It's actually look at this setup as well, like the firing squad in mid.
Now it's his turn to save because the money has flipped.
Yeah.
Just when you thought it was safe to get to game points. I mean, Heroic got fragged super fast in that round. They just came at them in a basket with a bow on top.
Yeah, I feel like that Borup one at long A from in the pit versus Snacks, that could have gone either way. And I feel like that changes the round completely.
Yeah. If they lose Borup, do they lose both? Do they fall back from the from behind the smoke? So many different ways it goes, but here we are. It's a cruel mistress. Counter-Strike.
Big man Borup.
Alright, Snacks has got 6950, so he could drop a rifle to Veggie or PHR.
Someone's getting screwed here.
It's a shame because it's been a team effort if you look at the kills on Virtus.pro. Ooh, they've gone for the big guns. The AWP, no drops to be had.
Yeah.
2 AWPs on the T side. We've got a boost over the smoke. Don't see this often enough. So they've really sacrificed, but they've got utility to take position.
Oh, how did he hit that? I thought Snacks had disappeared from that angle.
He definitely disappeared.
Yeah. Guess he did. Just the deagle on PHR, that's not all too fun, but there's a gun to be collected now. Thanks.
New man.
CS7.
You man just gets a deagle.
What do you do now? They're somewhat paralyzed, but of course they will be making inroads to Cat soon enough. This has been working pretty well for Heroic whenever they've given up Cat entirely and the site and played, you know, three towards B and mid.
I'm only familiar with AWPing from Snatchy and Snacks here. Not from the likes of Mihu. Very unusual situation. Not to say that he can't or shouldn't be AWPing in the situation, but we just don't know what to expect. S-Tag ready to flank through the smoke if the split was on, but he's got the sound cues that it is going to be the A-bomb site. 2 of the 5 players are there, so Virtus.pro actually have a numbers advantage, but they've got flashbangs on 2 players. They need to get that flash up the ramp to take Cadian off his angle and hold short. There's the flashbang. And now there are no more flashes, and they still haven't crossed. And it's easy for Cadian. Click to win. He clicks, he wins. Mihu 1 versus 3 with 13 seconds and a Molotov on the site. Oh, well, let's not count him out just yet. 8 seconds, and I thought he had that one. but he didn't. Heroic all around, 16-14. They pip Virtus.pro to the post in the first map of this best-of-3 series.
And they won both pistols, Heroic as well, and it was still so close. Honestly, BP had such a strong CT side. It just seems so unlikely that they would not win this map.
I think we all thought at some point or another VP was going to win this game, right? There's multiple times throughout the first half where they looked like they were in full control. Even in the late rounds of the second half, you know, it seemed like they were in control, and then Heroic just managed to stabilize. Like you said, they gave up Catwalk so many times, and they just had a lot of success with it.
Yeah, and VP has some really strong rounds. You know, Veggie in particular had a huge impact in the early game. We had that round with the Deagles, which we just saw. But saw that clutch from, or sorry, that shot from Borup there. He was instrumental towards the mid and late game for Heroic. Those long holds that he was able to pull out was phenomenal.
It's crazy how good Snitch is.
Yeah, it really is. That's really unfortunate for Virtus.pro. Probably, do you think they'll put the loss down to having lost both pistols?
I would say so. Like, as a player, when you lose both pistols in the 16-14 like that, pretty much always chalk it up to like...
Yeah, that's like four rounds at least given to your opponent. Maybe 5 or 6 if you went for the force buy in a second. So there we go. Virtus.pro will start 0-1 in this series, and I think it was about as 50-50 as we did expect and as you could have expected. But it is Heroic who once again, they haven't dropped a map in this bracket yet. So we'll see. Is it going to be another 2-0? We will find out soon enough. We head to a break. When we're back, it will be Mirage. So plenty more AWPing to come. We'll see you soon.